So now we're back to living in Jackson. How was Jackson then compared to Jackson today?
Um, Jackson always been Jackson. Like Jackson always been a city where either you learn fast or your ass gonna get sucked up. Sorry for cussing, cause I'm monetized now. But if you don't learn fast, bro, you can become a statistic real quick, bro. I don't think people understand just how cutthroat Jackson is, bro. I still be surprised in myself that I survived living in Jackson. Coming from a place where I don't know nobody, I gotta learn everything on the fly. I gotta maintain a certain type of integrity. I gotta maintain a certain type of status that I demand for myself, and I survived there. You feel me? Not that I haven't been through some shit that wasn't in my best outcome, but I survived in a totally different environment, bro, with no siblings around me, no cousins around me, nobody to back me up. I survived Jackson, bro. It's like a person moving to fucking LA that's in a fucking gang infested community, or just treachery, or Chicago or some shit these days, and surviving this shit. I don't know how I fucking did it, but God must have been on my side, bro. You feel me? I'm here for a reason, my nigga. You feel me? I done been through the worst of it, from fist fights to motherfucking trapping to fucking shit with these females to, man, I'm talking about niggas stealing from you. Everything, bro. I done did all that shit in Jackson, bro. That's why I had to get the fuck away from this. Too much history there, you know what I'm saying? I want to live a different life. Let me be free. So, what's changed in Jackson? Nothing. Jackson been cutthroat. The only thing that was different was from when I moved out when I was 12 to me looking back at it at 36 now is I didn't understand what was going on when I was 12. But now when I look back at 36 and living through what I lived through in Jackson and knowing the politics and knowing what be going on, and it's always an underlying secret to what's going on, the only thing different about it is I can now somewhat understand why things be happening. I understand the politics in the politicians. I understand the politics in the neighborhoods. I understand the politics in the street clubs, the nightclubs. I understand what it's like when you're riding on Sunday, on the weekend. I understand what these females is like. I understand what baby mama and baby daddy drama is like now. I understand what a job is like when they don't pay you enough and you gotta pay rent. I understand everything now. So when I see things taking place from here in New Orleans to Jackson, I understand what's going on. It's a struggle everywhere. Like Young Buck said, your hood ain't no different than my hood, nigga. We all thugging. That's real. And I grew up in one of the most thuggish places it is. So when niggas be on the internet talking about, man, it popping out here, nigga, you get your cap peeled just like that in Jackson. And I lived it, nigga. And I survived. Man, nigga play with it if they want to, bro. I could have died, nigga. I could have died, nigga, if I ain't know how to adapt real fast and move the right way. I could have died in that bitch, man. I could be locked up for life right now if I ain't make the right choices and foresee something for myself. Getting into it with niggas. I could have retaliated that same night and I could have went crazy, man. PTSD from that shit, dog. I got PTSD from that shit. It took me a long time to say, I ain't got to be that person when I go out in public. I ain't used to like to go out in public, man. Niggas don't know. Nigga be thinking this shit all YouTube, bro. You don't know the real side, man. Man, please, bro. I could have been locked up, bro. Facts. Shit serious, bro. PTSD is real, my nigga.
Tell me about your high school days. Where'd you go to high school at?
Let's start in middle school.
Okay.
I went to Chastain Middle School. That's on the north side of Jackson, off Northside Drive. You got two sides of Northside Drive. You got the old Ken side, which is across the freeway. In every city, you got a freeway that separates the hood from the prestigious area of that area. I grew up on the prestigious side of I-55, which goes from New Orleans all the way up to probably St. Louis, through Memphis, all that shit, all the way up to Chicago or some shit like that. I grew up on the well-to-do side of 55 in Jackson. But I went to school on the average nigga side of 55, which is Chastain Middle School. You know what I'm saying? That's where I initially went once I left Lexington. And it was cool, like I said. But I had to play catch up because a lot of the attire that they was wearing, all this old type of shit, I wasn't on to that. So I guess just like any other family, as you sit in an area for a long time, you start to progress if you working towards something. So I went from wearing garbage clothes to somewhat becoming normal. I started establishing friends. Little females started saying, "Oh, he's cute. He's pretty cool." And I was always shy, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know these motherfuckers, man. You feel me? I don't know y'all, man. Y'all grew up around each other since elementary and all this, preschool, and y'all family know each other. I don't know none of y'all. I don't know who is who. So middle school, it was that. And I ended up, I guess just being myself. I grew my hair out, was playing basketball in the neighborhoods. That's how I really blended in with a lot of people just playing basketball. This was in the Allen Iverson times, you know what I'm saying? I grew my hair out, had an afro for the first time in my life. Ended up started getting my hair braided from this girl in Chicago. She moved from Chicago, but she lived in my neighborhood over there by Jackson State Stadium. I stayed 3069 Oxford Avenue. Look the house up. You know what I'm saying? 3069 Oxford Avenue. The first place we moved to was 5155 Kill Street, Peppermill Apartments in Jackson, right behind the Jaguar dealership and the Holiday Inn on North Side. You know what I'm saying? The second place was 3069 Oxford Avenue, if you want to do your research. My homeboy Stefan, Cortland Willingham, Stanley Rodney, Jessica Bennett, man, a bunch of people, man, so it ain't no fabrication in the story, my nigga, you know what I'm saying? It's real history that you can do. I really grew up in these places, man. I grew up in the Fondren area, you know what I'm saying? Walking to the neighborhood gym in the area, which was Colonial Heights. No, it wasn't Colonial Heights, it was something else. But it was right off of Old Kent Road, which is a very historic area where Jackson State plays football and all that stuff at. I lived in that neighborhood growing up from probably 13 to probably about 15. I grew up in that area. And what was the question again?
Tell me about your time in high school.
High school. Okay, let's get into high school. So middle school was cool. We're going to high school. I started getting a little bit more comfortable. Never really fit in, like I said, so I ain't never really run with some people that I would say were real linked in friends of mine that I could directly relate to. I had about 3 or 4 homeboys that I used to run with. I had one friend whose mom was the vice president at Jackson State. That's my nigga Ryan. He was from New Orleans. And I had another nigga that I used to run with named Demetrius. his people was from New Orleans too. You know what I'm saying? That's why, I don't know, bro. New Orleans keep on finding its way into my life. And now I'm ending up living down here and stuff. So, and then I had two other homeboys. One was named Desmond and one was named Jeremy. I ain't gonna get no last names. Now, my two homeboys on this side, they were from New Orleans. They were pretty cool. We used to take trips down here to New Orleans and stuff like that. They used to always have me at their house. And they had a lot more money than my family did because they lived in condominiums and stuff on the north side. And then my friends over here, they were more hood. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more street. Now, in high school, I started establishing myself. My grades were still kind of because again, the curriculum was a lot more difficult than what I was in the country towns and stuff like that. So, you know, I was just making it by. The girls started noticing me more. You know, I started working, got a job. My people had given me a car when I was like 14 years old. So I'm driving to school at like 15, 16, got my first permit. I'm driving. Ain't nobody else driving but juniors and seniors. I'm a ninth grader, and I'm pushing my uncle Deon Brown that had the altercation with my dad. I'm pushing his Chevy Beretta on some 5-point stars, chrome. You feel me? So you know, my girl, my little high school sweetheart that we ended up having a kid together, which is my oldest daughter. She passenger side with me, you know, it's just, things are alright, you know what I'm saying? It ain't as comfortable as back at home, but things are cool, man. But I had this one friend, right? I had this one friend. He always seemed quite envious of me, quite jealous. And I like to think that it was because this friend of mine, he came from a broken home, didn't have the financial stability that I had when I was in high school. Because at this time, my stepdad had ended up going to Iraq and Afghanistan, making a whole lot of money, like $100,000 tax-free money. So, you know, I'm showing the fruits of his labor. I'm living a better life at this time, right? So this particular friend of mine, it just was always something, bro. I used to see the little jealousy and like little envy in this dude, man. It just was always something. But you know, me coming from a small hometown, I never thought that it would turn into what it turned into, right? Cause me and my homeboys back where I'm from, they still together there. 3 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them, whoever they clicked and grew with in Lexington. We wasn't living like that. We wasn't backdooring our friends. We wasn't cutthroating our homeboys. So, you know, I just overlooked it. Oh, that's my homeboy. That's just how he is. Maybe he just having a bad day type shit, right? So, around this same time, you know, yearbooks. You know how yearbooks and shit be like, best dressed, cutest boy. I'm winning this type of shit right at Murrah High School, right? I'm winning this. The bros is, yeah, that type of shit, G. You feel me? Not pushing my button, but if you know you got the yearbook, you'll see me in that bitch. Throwback jersey on, best dress or cutest boy, whatever the type of shit. I ain't pushing my buttons. I'm just telling you the truth, man. If you got the yearbook, you can vouch for me. Post it, nigga. Tell the story with it if you whatever. But anyway, I think that shit there built some envy inside my homeboy. You know what I'm saying? And it caused my nigga one day. I'm coming in from class, from one of my other classes. So I'm going in my what's it called? Home ec, right? It's across the hall from the gym and shit. So I go in the classroom, put my book bag down and shit. Come in that bitch. My nigga come in that bitch. He got a mean mug on his face. Now, from what I'm told, my nigga was doing drugs. I don't know if it was powder or if it was weed that they was on back in the day, but I wasn't on that shit. I was just a regular kid, you feel me? Just trying to find his way and learn his way in this new environment. I'm just happy that I'm able to goddamn survive down here. So my nigga come in one day, and he's mean mugging. So I look at the nigga tripping. What the fuck wrong with this nigga over here? You been having this little envy and jealousy and shit on you, but today your shit is just fucked up. So the nigga say something to me like, what? I'm like, what the fuck this nigga? This nigga come stand in front of me. So I'm like, what the fuck wrong with this nigga? Now mind you, I'm coming from small town. Homeboys are homeboys. We don't beef with each other. So the nigga just yapping. Nigga push me, right? I'm like, man, this my homeboy, man. I can't fight my homeboy, man. This nigga having a bad day. I'm trying to brush it off. All right, man. Whatever. So, nigga steady going at it. So I'm like, man, whatever. I ain't never had a fight before. So I ain't knowing I need to take off first. So, nigga just two-piece my ass. Pop, pop. I'm like, the fuck? Nigga split my lip. Fuck my shit up. You feel me? So I'm like, man, what the? I'm in shock. Mind you, I'm from a small town. We homeboys. We don't do this shit. I ain't never been involved with violence before. Never. This is my first introduction to violence. Nigga, we was homeboys. Nigga two-piece me, bro. I see. Then something snapped in my mind, right? Now, I used to go visit my dad back when I was a little kid. Back in Yazoo and shit. And he used to always try to give me, like, defensive mechanisms on how to protect myself. I guess he knew what I was going to deal with when I moved down to a city like Jackson. So he had given me some brass knuckles that he had made for himself. And I used to carry them with me. Particular day, I had these brass knuckles in my book bag. So when the nigga hit me and I go out of shock and snap into, I better do something to defend my motherfucking reputation, I grabbed the fucking brass knuckles out of my book bag and start going towards the nigga to try to get at him. So my nigga, who was my friend at the time, he say, oh, you gonna hit me with your brass knuckles? You gonna hit me with your brass knuckles? In front of the nigga that was trying to break the shit up and get in between us. So ultimately, I ended up getting expelled. They ended up taking the brass knuckles from me. I go and sit in the office and they talk about, oh, well, he brought a weapon to school and this is not something that we can have in our public school district. So ultimately, this good kid that was moved from a small hometown to this new environment, thrives through middle school, makes it through middle school, goes to high school, and ends up going to this high school and gets into it with somebody, ends up going to an alternative school, which is something like a child jail.